I'm drawing a blank, but it was fun.
Fireworks. It was fireworks.
Yes. They called and said, "Don't worry about it. We're not going to do it." So, yeah, that's what.
Wise decision.
I thought so. I thought it was a very responsible decision on their part.
Okay. We have, and since the last meeting, had an inquiry from the sheriff. Well, we have a lot of stuff going on, obviously, but we're still trying to work out inmate health care and how that's done. I suggested to Mark, and we're going to try to have a meeting with the prosecutor's office and perhaps the judges to make sure everybody's on the same page as to how potential inmates or inmates with health problems are handled, because it's very important how they're handled on the front end in terms of who's responsible for some of the bills on the back end. There's a couple cases going on right now where the parties being the sheriff and the prosecutor, are already trying to anticipate that in advance, and that's basically the best way for that to happen with these inmate health problems is to be on them quickly and to ferret out what is going on with the inmate's health situation, and try to get it fixed ASAP. I'm mediating a case this week involving another county and an inmate, but they're being sued for hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. This inmate developed MRSA infection and had a number of tragic and significant health-related issues, which are now permanent with that. So, it's a problem every county's got to be looking at. So, so just to let you know, we've talked about that with you guys before. There's no specific issue now. So anyway, that's that. The wind energy thing we've kind of discussed before the meeting. The language on that ordinance, I think, the 45 days from your.
However, no decisions or motions were made during that. I want that to be understood. It was just casual comment. There was no. Before the meeting was called to order, there was no motion, seconds, or anything. You asked a question, which you're our legal advisor, and the chairman respond. That's the only discussion.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Hate to interrupt, but I don't want people to get the wrong impression.
No, you're
Thank you.
You're quite correct to do so. And as I was saying, I think that issue is not an issue to be voted on, but it's just when does the ordinance get signed, and what's the right date, and what's the right language for how the steps occurred, because the Plan Commission had a really a no action vote on your amendment. So that has to be worked out between the Plan Commission attorney and I, and we'll get it back to you guys in hopefully proper form at the next meeting. So that's that. What else? We have Pete here on the real estate matter with Parkview. So I think unless you guys have anything before that.
I do have one question.
Oh, you told me. I was trying to duck that.
I know that.
I almost got by it. Golly.
I would ask on our ordinance 20,012-10, which is our golf cart ordinance. I've talked to a couple that bought a brand new golf cart, and the golf cart has seat belts front and back. It has a safety bar on the back, and they have 2 autistic children, and they're under the age of 10 and 6, I think. And the reason that they bought with the safety is because they thought that we were going to have the golf cart ordinance and that they'd be able to use that for transporting their children. What I would suggest, I would like to suggest that under no person under the age of 6 years old is allowed to ride on a golf cart operated on the county road. No one under the age of 10 years old is allowed to ride as a passenger in the rear facing seat. All passengers must be seated while the golf cart is being operated, and then a maximum of 4 passengers is permitted, which is already up here in Section A, and I was on Section B. What I would like to do is I'm asking you the liability issue if we would do away with the age restriction as far as passengers, is that a liability for the county if we would do something like that?
Well, no more or less so than any ordinance you draft would make it a liability. Are the requirements of the ordinance reasonable in light of what you're regulating? I think is really what's going to be looked at there. But the one question that just comes into my mind as you're talking about that, George, I understand where you're going with that, and I don't have a problem with that, but I think you would at least have to accept out infants.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
Because car seat age, I mean, I don't know,
Right.
so I'll have to look at that and come up with an idea how we could word that, but yeah.
I don't know how the other commissioners feel about that.
And is this ours, or is this part of the state, you know? Because if it's part of the state, we can't really deal with it.
Yeah, I do not
Okay.
know off the cuff
Okay.
what, there are requirements in the state statute. I think there are requirements, those are, but I'm not sure, and so I'm gonna have to go back and read the state ordinance, compare it to ours, and see which things were ours, because, we took the old one, and then we cleaned it up and added the state requirements in it, and I'm not sure where they overlap.
Okay.
So but I can do that quickly. And by the next meeting, would you like to see a draft of an amended ordinance, an amendment that would
If
do
they
it?
have the safety, if they have the seat belts, all the
If-
safety equipment on all 4 seats.
What's the city have, George, you know?
I think the city, I'm not sure what the city has, I should have checked that out, really.
I don't think they have that. I think they have the same thing, because I think that language maybe came from the city ordinance, actually, Tom.
Okay.
So, but I'll look at that as well. And I'll brief you on the differences, but I'll come up with a draft that'll take care of that problem. I see what you're saying. So they can't really, they bought this golf cart, now they can't transport the kids because how the ordinance is worded.
Right.
Okay, shows you the difficulty in drafting ordinances.
Yeah,
Can't
how
cover
easy it
all
sounds, right?
things. Yeah.
Uh,
Make it right for everybody.
bunting claim, are you familiar with that one? Yeah, and it might
The
be.
name rings a bell,
All right.
but I haven't
All
dealt
right,
with it.
in the claims, okay, why did it come up twice? I gotta think about this for a second.
We just paid them $9,000 more.
9,000 more?
Right, we haven't met the
5,000.
25,000 yet. working on
Okay,
it.
the,
Plenty more.
yeah, but the court action was 15,000. And we paid him 9. I guess I'm wondering what the difference is between the 9.
We've paid him before. Dean,
Did we pay him 6,000?
Smaller amounts than that. We've
Well,
paid him a couple.
Okay, I just,
I,
okay, I was going through it this morning. I'd seen the claim the other day. When I was going through this morning, I had something from the courts to indicate, I'm sorry, I'm not sure where it's at, to indicate there was a $15,000, so.
on that.
Did we share that settlement with someone?
What's this on, Mr. Chairman? What are you
I don't
talking
know.
about?
I'm sorry, I'm not sure. So do you recall? The name is Dean Bunting, B-U-N-T-I-N-G.
Okay, that was a claim against the sheriff's department, a tort claim. I do recognize the name, but I don't have the file here, of course, so I can't report
Okay.
to you what happened, but, and of course, I wasn't, if they apparently settled the case, and probably the confusion is this. Under the sheriff's policy of insurance, we are liable, there's a deductible of $25,000. That isn't just for the amount of the settlement or the claim, but it's also for the amount of the cost, the legal fees and costs. And so when when Travelers sends in their bills, they're partial bills. And so you're not gonna get one final bill and it's gonna encompass everything. So what Den has to do probably is go back and look at all of the bills on that claim number for that company to figure out what we really have paid. So you can't look at just one and say, and compare it to what the total settlement was, because we may have paid 2 or 3 earlier. And in fact, the bill may be more than the total settlement because they will put on the attorney fee cost too. So that's my best answer, just shooting from the hip. But
If he found something settlement-wise for the 15,000, he's thinking 15,000 could be the max one, and really it could go up to 25 because of our insurance
Correct.
policy.
Correct, that's what I'm saying.
I'll find
Right,
out.
everything
total for you.
up to 25 is our responsibility.
Right.
I'll find a total.
I'm clear on that one, but okay,
Right.
that
But
was.
you're just wondering what
Yep.
the cadence of
Okay.
the pay was.
Yeah, there is no breakdown
Then
on
you-
that claim.
Did you then also receive an email about the Freedom of Information Act, wanting information about Prairie Energy?
No, not that I
Okay.
recall.
Okay, I thought it was gonna be sent to you, too. I don't know when that was received. It was received by the clerk of the courts last week, and, up till the day, there's no one here in this county that's ever heard of. There were 2 names, and I'm sorry, I don't have it right here in front of me, Prairie. Did you guys get the email on that
Yeah,
one?
Prairie Energy Corp.
Who issued the request for the freedom?
Somebody by the name of Childs?
Somebody out in Indianapolis, wasn't it, Tom?
Yeah. Sure.
But in our research, we really can't find of any, we've ever had any dealings with such a company or firm or whatever they are. We certainly would respond to them in a heartbeat if we did, but.
Right, well, a freedom of information request, by definition, is somebody's asking for information that we hold and is public record. If we don't have public record, we can't respond to the request other than to say, no, we don't have that.
And that's what Ms. Beers was going to do.
Yeah.
Because nowhere in any of her clerk's office information, that name ever popped up, so.
Right, I haven't.
I just wanted to FYI you
Yeah, okay, thank
on
you.
that one, so.
Thank you.
Anyone else have questions for Mr. Sigler? Thanks, Tom. Okay. And that's it for you, sir?
Yes, but I'm
Okay,
gonna wait.
right,
till
Mr. Mallers.
Because he's